In September of 1999, at a nuclear fuel plant in Tokaimura, Japan, 3 technicians were working with uranium. One of them was Hisashi Aochi, a 35-year-old father, and that day, in a rush to meet deadlines, the men bypassed safety protocols and manually poured uranium into a container. What they didn't realize is that they had just triggered a nuclear chain reaction. In an instant, a flash of blue light filled the room. Aochi was standing closest to the reaction and received one of the highest doses of radiation ever recorded on a human being. At first, he was still conscious, but within hours, his skin began to redden, and soon layers of flesh started to peel. Over the coming days, his body deteriorated rapidly. His internal organs were shutting down one by one. Doctors described his condition as if his body was melting from the inside. And yet, Japan's medical teams refused to let him go. For 83 days, they fought to keep him alive, with transfusions, skin grafts, and machines. But Aochi was in constant agony, begging at times to be allowed to die. Finally, on December 21st, after nearly 3 months of suffering, his heart failed. His death became one of the most infamous cases of radiation poisoning in history. Perillos of Athens. Over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece, a craftsman named Perillos of Athens designed a new execution device for the king of Agrigentum. It was called the Brazen Bull, a hollow bronze statue of a bull, built with a door on the side. Victims would be locked inside, and a fire lit beneath. As the metal heated, the person inside would roast alive. Perillos proudly presented his invention to the king, claiming that not only would it execute criminals, but the pipes inside would turn their screams into the sound of a bull's roar. But King was not amused. Instead of rewarding Perillos, he decided to test the device on the plight of the man who built it. Perillos was shoved into his own creation, and the fire was lit. Though some accounts say King stopped the execution before it killed him, Perillos's fate was sealed, betrayed by his own invention and fate. Tiger attack. In the summer of 2007, in San Francisco, a 7-year-old boy named Carlos Sousa Jr. went with his friends to the zoo. It was Christmas Day, and the main attraction was Tatiana, a 350-pound Siberian tiger. The boys lingered by the edge, joking and pointing. Then, in a moment that stunned everyone, Tatiana leapt out of her pit. In seconds, the tiger was loose. She first mauled Carlos. Carlos wasn't as lucky. Tatiana pinned him down, tearing into him with her claws and teeth. By the time police arrived and put the tiger down, Carlos was gone. His body bore the marks of a brutal, primal death, shredded flesh, massive blood loss, and trauma no one could have survived. Investigators later discovered that the wall around the enclosure was nearly 4 feet, lower than recommended safety standards. The San Francisco Zoo tragedy became infamous, not just for the horror of Carlos's death, but for how preventable it was. A teenager had gone to see animals on Christmas Day, and instead became prey.